Hey everybody, this is Marcellus Troy Alexander. We are excited tonight to have another amazing guest tonight. But listen, our motto is dream, take that step and walk with purpose into your destiny tonight. Listen, I'm so excited about your dream and your purpose. Listen, stay connected. Every week we come on here to encourage you to hold on to your dream and not give up on your dream. So listen, our motto, I'm gonna say it again, dream, take that step and walk with purpose into your destiny tonight. We're on Facebook, Troy Alexander. I'm on Instagram at Pick by Design. I love taking photos. Listen, we're on YouTube, Inspiration with Troy Alexander, and our nonprofit, Call to Inspire.org. Call to Inspire.org. Listen, tonight, I want to announce one more time. We have our book of poetry that you can get on Amazon.com. It's called Poems, Inspiring Dreams, Purpose, and Destiny. Marcellus Troy Alexander on Amazon.com. It's pinned to our Facebook page, also on our nonprofit website called to inspire.org. Tonight, everybody, we have an amazing guest. Listen, she is an actress. She's done 3 short films, 13 on-stage theatrical productions, commercials, and more. First degree black belt in Hapkido. I think I said it right. Martial arts at age 10. Yes, I got the thumbs up. Instagram live series titled Artists Alive, platform for artists to support artists. My goodness. Consulting, collaborating business for actors titled Approachable Actor. She's an advocate, yes she is, for equal representation of women in entertainment. She's a model, listen, you can see that already, and also has so many special skills. She sings, she plays the ukulele, she does canoeing, archery, stage combat. Yes, I said it, stage combat and more. Outdoor lover who can be seen with her family on season 1 of Survivalists on BYUtv. I'm telling you, let's welcome Victoria Face Miller. How are you, Victoria?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I am fantastic. Even more now to have the opportunity to talk to you and meet you, because you are just an amazing individual. I gotta ask you, I was reading your bio, and it talked about at age 6 that you knew you had an affinity for acting. Can you tell me, like, what happened? If you can remember, like, what was that, like, what happened that said to you, acting is what you want to do?
Yeah, so it was almost like that moment happened when I was 6, but it wasn't something that I realized till later on. So when I was 6 years old, around like 5, 6 years old, actually throughout like my early childhood, my mom put me and my siblings in a lot of different activities. We tried so many different sports. We ended up trying theater, which of course I ended up loving and continuing to do. But we just got involved with so much. And one of those things was starting to do like auditions for like commercials and films. So when we were about like 6 or 7, we went to New York to audition for the film, The Little Fockers, with Ben Stiller, and they were calling for children. And so we sent in our tape, and then we ended up going to New York. And obviously we didn't end up getting the role. But looking back on that experience later in life, that was really the first moment, I think, and that kind of kickstarted it all. I then started doing commercials. I then got really involved in theater because that was one of the most tangible ways that I could continue to perform and do what I love. And it kind of just went from there. I was very involved in my school and community theater departments, as well as at age 13, I decided that I wanted to get back into TV and film a little bit. So I started taking classes to specifically learn for that medium. And yeah, here I am. It's just now I'm just continuing to pursue what I love and trying to help others do the same.
Victoria, now wait a minute. At age 6, now, had you ever auditioned for a film of this magnitude before age 6?
No, I had not. Anyone who knows me as a kid knows that I was obsessed with Taylor Swift. And I wanted to be just like her. There are pictures of me I have her sparkly guitar at home that looks just like hers. I dressed up for her as Halloween. I had all of her CDs that I'd play in my little CD player in my room. And I think just in general, when I was little, I just really loved performing, and I was just super outgoing, super just out there with all of my passions. And I was just super loud, super boisterous, a little clumsy at times, but just a really energetic kid. And I think my parents could see that. So they, as any good parent would do, they tried to put me in the activities that would help foster those interests. And I started doing singing lessons at age 8 and 9, along with my siblings. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. That kind of love for performing and just energy was translated into theater, which then was later translated into starting with TV and film.
Now, which that's phenomenal, first of all. And so I got to ask you, like, did you have to grow into your confidence, or were you always like going to auditions, doing theater? Like, were you nervous at any point, or did you just feel like, you know what, this is where I belong?
Yeah, so I've definitely had like ups and downs. Like I think when you're little, that's why a lot of like child actors are sometimes like the best actors, because they don't really overthink it. They just kind of do it, and they just bring energy, and they bring life, and they bring that like childlike wonder to everything that they do. And I definitely had that when I was younger. But as many adolescents and teens do, when you get to a certain point in your life, you then start to like maybe doubt yourself a bit and lose confidence, because then society and the world you start to feel the weight and the pressure of getting older and growing up. And I think that for me, as along with like my siblings and anyone else my age, that did sometimes take a toll on me and make me maybe lose confidence a bit. But within the last few years, and especially throughout quarantine and COVID, I've been able to really grow in myself and in my beliefs and in my talents, and really be able to like tell myself, yeah, I can do this. I can actually do this, and I don't have to be shy about it. I don't have to feel bad about being too big or too out there. I just do what I love, and the people that like that will gravitate towards that, and the people that don't, they'll find their way somewhere else. So it's almost just, I've learned to be myself no matter what, and not worry as much about what others think.
Wow, I love that, Victoria. That is so powerful, because it's so important. Listen, I always tell people we have to be whole within ourselves first, right?
Yep.
Not looking for someone else to make us whole, right? But that's powerful, and I think it's so real, right? How growing up as a child and growing up, and how the attention, because listen, if they don't want that type of actor or actress, and they're not looking for that one, but I love how you talked about how even during this period of the pandemic, how you were able to kind of find that space again, right? To get the confidence back into who you are. Because first of all, theater to me is so much different than film, right? Yeah. And so, because to me, film is like, do over, right? I didn't get it right that time, but theater is so. I mean, you've done so much theater, and so tell me about like that experience, because I'm like, people that do theater have to be so confident, because you only get one take.
Yeah.
Right. So
no. Yeah. Theater definitely helps you. It the skills you learn in theater definitely can translate into TV and film. They're just kind of used in a different way. But for me, theater has almost made me comfortable with making mistakes, because in theater you make mistakes. It's just human nature. But you have to learn how to be able to adapt, and you have to learn how to be able to still be able to capture an audience even in those moments. And that's why improvisation is a huge thing in theater, and a huge thing that directors look for when in TV and film actors. So I think one of the most translatable skills from theater to TV and film is, like you said, the confidence that you have to get and trusting your instincts, but also that just fearless nature of just being able to go with the flow, and be able to improvise and adapt and overcome.
Wow. Listen, what you just said, Victoria, listen, I hope you write a book. I mean, I'm not sure if you have one out there or not, but you need to share your insight, because what you said about knowing that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's a part of the journey, that's how we grow, right?
Yeah.
No one's perfect. No one is in life, right? So all of us are still evolving. But wow, Victoria, what you just said is like, I gotta be okay. Like if I don't get it, like be okay. Like just do better, right? And so
Exactly.
yeah, and the one thing I love about your experience and your journey is I was looking at your resume and I said to myself, listen, this young lady is serious because your outline of trainings and workshops, the listing was longer than like the acting and the I'm like, you were like you put so much time. Tell me about the importance for you about training and about because you put so much energy and tell me about the value of that for your journey.
Yeah, no, training is the most important thing. And it's where whenever I'm helping an actor, like find out where to start, because I get a lot of messages on Instagram about that. I always tell them the very first thing that you need to do is get in a class, because just like any other job, acting it's a job and it's a craft and it's something that you need to learn. Like, yes, there's a lot of natural talent and there's a lot of your own experience that can be brought into it, but it's still you still have to learn a lot about how the camera captures you. Like I'm sure you know, as a photographer, there's a lot to learn in terms of how you specifically tailor a certain experience to whatever you're doing, whether it's theater or film. There's very specific skills that are involved in that. And training in a bunch of different classes, like I've taken improv, like we already talked about, and I've taken auditioning, because auditioning is a whole skill in itself. Like you can't obviously get a job without auditioning, and you have to get good at auditioning, but to be able to get good at auditioning, you don't just have to be good at acting. You have to learn how to be professional. You have to learn how to, like I said earlier, be unapologetically yourself and just be able to show up and do your work. And I've also taken classes for fun and like accents. I've taken classes in just so many different things like singing and just different special skills, because those are what really help you stand out and make you unique and make you you and different from everyone else. And it's just a matter of when you think about all of the A-list actors and all of the people who are the biggest stars in Hollywood, they continue to train. Acting is something that you don't just learn and then stop learning. Every experience on set, every experience in class is a huge opportunity to grow and to learn more about the human experience, about your peers. And for me, classes have also been an amazing way to build connections. They're how I was able to get a referral, to get an agent. Classes are how I've made so many of my great industry and acting friends who have ended up being guests on my Artists Alive show. Like, it's a great way to just meet people and just form connections with people who also love to do what you love to do.
Victoria, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, this feels like a masterclass. I mean, listening to you, I mean, Oprah has her own, but this tonight, listening to you, I'm listening to a master at her craft, right? Not that you have achieved, but where you are, you know where you are, and you continue to grow even more. And I love that about you. And so I'm serious. This is like a masterclass for me, and everybody who watches this, like, wow. And so, what is it about theater or acting that you love so much?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things. I could go on and on, but the very first thing that comes to mind is acting and theater and that mode of expression. It's really what it is in its simplest form is the art of empathy. It's learning how to be able to place your experiences and your values and your the way you process things into the experiences of another character, whether fictional or whether someone who has lived and you're studying them and their life. And it's really just so powerful to be able to learn so many different things about how other people live, not by actually having to experience through that, but being able to, in a secondhand way, be able to live through that through someone else's lens. And I've learned so much through acting. Like I've gotten to be able to be a zombie. Like that's something that would never happen in real life. But you just get to do not only just fun things, but also super powerful experiences. Like the first short film I did, it was a girl who had a lot of struggle with depression and had a very tragic experience in her life, something that I fortunately have never experienced. But just being able to live that through someone else, it gives you so much empathy and for people in real life. And it's so powerful just to be able to be vulnerable and just trust someone else, your scene partner, other actors, to be able to be like, we're both vulnerable in this space and we're both have so much trust and respect for each other that we're doing something that's powerful, that's going to impact audiences, that's hopefully going to connect and really touch someone's heart, that's going to help someone feel like their experiences are validated, someone who's actually experiencing that. And most importantly, just going to bring people joy and bring people emotion in really tough times. And that's why art and film and all of that prevailed during the pandemic. That's why that was people's lifelines. Like everyone was binging their favorite TV shows. It's art. One of the greatest quotes that I've learned is life imitates art and art imitates life. It's all interconnected. There's so much art in life. Everything we look at, from architecture to how things are designed, it's all art. And acting is just another form of art focused on the human experience. And being able to pursue a lifelong study of the human experience, just it's so appealing and so amazing to me.
Victoria, I'm in awe of you right now. I'm sitting here, I'm like listening to you, and to me, you are such an artist at your craft. You are such a wealth of knowledge, of information, of greatness that you've learned in just such a short period of time. Wow, I gotta ask you, those roles that you have not, as you described, personally experienced, like the one going through depression and so forth. Tell me about your process, because I'm not sure if it's the same for all, but tell me about your process about learning how to feel what they feel so that what comes across in the camera or on stage appears real.
Yeah, of course. Well, I try to do as much research as I can, not only on the script by just breaking down each word and each thought, thinking about why they'd say that, what relationship they have to the other character, just going so in depth as you can, asking these questions about what's my objective, what are my circumstances, what is the setting. Really, in one of my classes, I was taught by a professor. He is taught at Juilliard and NYU, and he told us that you really have to be able to envision the person you're speaking to, even if that person, like you have a reader for a self-tape, being able to put a face over top of that and really be able to imagine and almost find that child within you that just has such a huge imagination, is able to just see the world around you. And beyond that, for experiences that I've never personally felt, something that I've learned to do is to really tap into what is the emotion behind a line. Because, for example, if you think of someone who, in the case of the film, it was her boyfriend actually passed away. He got like shot in a tragic accident at a grocery store. And that is something that I couldn't even imagine happening to me. But when you think about the emotions behind the lines, the subtext, which is huge for actors, but you think of what is that? It leaves like that longing, it leaves that desire to have that love that just is taken away. Just a feeling of aloneness, a feeling of isolation, a feeling of not being understood. And all of those experiences and all of those emotions I have felt in some way in my life, maybe not to that extent. So in a matter of acting, it's really about being able to put those experiences, because we've all experienced those emotions, and put them into a larger context.
Well, Victoria, listen, I'm telling you, you are giving us a masterclass. This is so inspiring to me. I love the Actors Studio, like that broadcast
Hmm.
back in the day. So this is just an honor, my goodness, to be having this conversation with you. And I am just so blessed and so in awe of you right now. Prior to the broadcast, but even more so now, I want to ask you, even that's getting into character. I'm always wondering, for those emotional characters, those emotional stories, how is it for you coming out of character? Like because I can only imagine, like, to get to that place, and then if it's like cut, you're taking a break or you're done for the day, like, how do you come out of that? Like tell me, do you have a process or something that you do that helps you to kind of leave that now and kind of come back to you?
Yeah, just I've kind of practiced this just from watching like really intense and emotional shows. Like a lot of the shows that I love are really, really dramatic and really intense shows. And something that I've kind of trained myself to do is to be able to be really enveloped in what I'm watching and really into and really connected to the characters. But then the second that episode ends or the second that I hit the pause button, I kind of have been able to train myself to come back into reality and to know that, yes, that experience, and for relating it now to actually building a character and putting myself in a character, yes, that experience was super impactful. And I'm so glad that I was able to get to that place and tell a character's story. But I'm also a human myself, and I need to take care of myself. And I think I've grown in terms of being able to snap out of it and be able to come back to reality. But everything kind of still stays with you, because you can't just forget about putting yourself through that experience and really taking the time to, I mean, I'm sure most people know method acting, really being able to put yourself in an experience in a very like visceral, realistic way. But the biggest thing for me, and I think for a lot of actors, is self-care. Just being very in touch with your emotions and you have to be very connected to your needs as a person and be very vocal and an advocate for those needs. For example, if you finish a scene and you need a 5-minute break and you need a moment, the director or the people working with you might not automatically see that, but you need to be an advocate for yourself and be like, hey, could I take a few minutes? Because
Absolutely.
what's most important at the end of the day is not the money, it's not the job, it's not the fame, it's not your appearance. It's you as a person and your mental health. And that's like, I'm sure you've heard stories of so many actors dealing with huge mental health issues throughout their career because of putting their heart and soul into roles and how that's really impacted them, and like bringing up memories and past traumas to bring into roles and to get to that emotional state. And while that works for a lot of people, and I've even used some of those tactics myself, you really have to have balance and understand at the end of the day, it's your life that's the most important in the situation, and your dignity and your health. So for me, obviously, being a woman of Christ, being able to pray and be open and honest with God about how I experience things has been super helpful for me. Just taking time to decompress and just be in silence, and just really just nourishing yourself through the food you eat, through the relationships you choose to surround yourself with, the people who you put in your support system. It all matters. It's all connected. Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, acting is living. It's learning how to really and genuinely put yourself in experiences. So that means that you have to take care of yourself first.
Wow. Wow. Victoria, beautiful, wonderful. That's amazing and so impactful and so thoughtful and just so real and transparent. And that's what I love about your just everything that you present. So I gotta ask you one more question in terms of
Of
the
course.
acting process. And listen, everybody, I'm talking to Victoria Faith Miller, phenomenal. Listen, and she's so serious even at the age of 8, like she was attending the Baltimore School for the Arts, the Peabody Institute Conservatory. Listen, I'm telling you, so she's so just into her craft, and it's a part of who she is. So I want to ask you this, because you know so much about who you are, I believe, from what I'm hearing about you and your growth to this point. Do you know your limit to the point where have you ever felt as an actor that you were getting close to it where you might not be able to come back? You talked about the mental health aspect and so much that actors kind of go, and some of them don't come back from it, right? They dive into a role, and the role is so intense that it seems to me like it overtakes them, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where it connects to something maybe real that was there that they didn't know, or whatever it might be. But have you ever felt, and if you don't want to answer, it's okay, but have you ever felt like you were reaching a point where, you know what, I'm not sure if I want to go there right now because I'm not sure if I'm ready?
I actually have not. Like I said, I've gotten to a place where I'm very self-aware of how I'm feeling in given moments. So I've been able to almost prevent something like that from happening before it would even arise. And yeah, I've just prioritized taking care of myself, and I haven't had that happen to me, which I'm really grateful for. Um,
Yes.
and I'm hoping that I'll be able to learn skills and that I'll be able to continue um, to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future, especially because I've only done short films and like more shorter term projects. But if I ever get cast in something like a TV show or a feature film that might require a very lengthy preparation process, um, I just need to make sure that I'm prioritizing that self-care and preventing that from happening. And I need to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with people that have those same goals and those same beliefs.
Listen, I know you wanted to go into directing and what was the other one? Directing and producing, was it? I think it was. But
Yeah.
but before I go there, as an actor, you're portraying other people's stories, right? Their
hmm
characters, their life. Um, is there at any point, or are there stories that you want to tell, like as a writer, or like are there ones at this point in time that you want to tell?
Yes. I mean, as you read in my bio, I'm super passionate about women getting an equal
Yeah.
chance to tell their stories and tell their stories accurately. Because there's been a lot of stereotypes and a lot of just gender imbalances in the world of film. And because it's such a powerful medium and impacts so many people, like everyone, pretty much everyone has phones and tablets and computers and TVs. So film and access to film and TV and video is everywhere. It's just such a big part of our society. So that means that it holds a really big responsibility for the content that we're um, giving out to young audiences, especially those very fundamental years of their life, where they're forming their opinions and their beliefs and their perspectives about other people and the world around them. So I've just become really passionate about making sure that women's stories in particular are represented in the most accurate way possible and represented by women in those leadership roles in front of and behind the camera, and by diverse women of all different walks of life, of all different backgrounds. And for me, going into the future, I have so many different role models that I look up to in the TV and film industry that are already making huge strides in that field. But I kind of just hope to follow in their footsteps and really be able to tell female-led stories, female-driven stories, stories that represent the female spirit accurately and diversely. And yeah, that's just really what I hope to do in the future.
So, do you, Victoria, see yourself at any point writing a script, directing it, producing it? Like, is that on your vision board?
Oh yeah, no, I would love to write. Actually, I mean, this is very small scale, but in one of my theater classes in college, we actually had a playwriting part of our term where I worked with 2 other girls and we wrote a play. So I've definitely, and I've always loved writing, creative writing, writing in class, writing, not unpopular opinion, but sometimes I actually do like writing research papers and just really getting to learn in depth about a topic. But yeah, I've just always had a love for writing and a love for leadership and being able to use my gifts and talents that God has given me to impact others and really help bring impactful stories to light. So 100%, I see that in my future.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to look on my television, on my apps, whether it's Prime or whether it's HBO Max or whatever it might, and see Victoria Faith Miller, right? To see your story, to see you as director, you as actor, you as writer, you as producer, all of that, because I know it's going to happen because you are that phenomenal, that amazing, that super. Listen, I know you talked about some women that are already there and you researched some girl bosses, but listen,
Oh, yeah.
You're a girl boss. You are, listen, I'm going to Google it right now. And I know your name gonna come up. Listen, because I'm telling you, you are that amazing, phenomenal, super, and it's just an honor, really, to be talking with you. Have you ever thought about doing an academy, a teaching institution? Because what you're, I mean, it's powerful. I mean, you're so well versed. You are. I'm listening to you now. Listen, I'm not an actor. I love to sing, right? And I thought one day I might be on Broadway doing a musical.
Yes.
But you're so well versed. Have you thought about doing classes where you're teaching what you know to younger people or to those who are trying to aspire into that industry?
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, I was talking with you about this earlier, but recently I started a business type project where I'm going to be doing consulting and collaborating sessions with young actors who are looking to get into the industry, from personal experience and just from observation. Oftentimes the acting industry is something that people they like shy away from because it's very intimidating. Like, even if they love the craft and love acting, it's a very intimidating industry to get into because there's a lot of competition. There can be a lot of rejection. There can be just a lot of hurdles to overcome to get to a place where you can do it full time. And I've seen that through my own experiences and through the experience of friends and colleagues and peers. And through this new business that I'm starting called Approachable Actor, I really want to be able to demystify the industry a bit and make it a little bit more broken down in an approachable way, where young people can access it and kind of see me more as a friend. Like, I don't want to be seen as like some like intimidating coach or like big wig or like big director, producer, or casting director that people might be a little like scared to be like, oh, like that's such and such, like, whoa, that's Steven Spielberg, that's Amber Horn, the casting director for like Disney and all these things. And while all those people are wonderful, and I've actually gotten to work with Amber Horn, but that's not part of the point. But I want to be more of like a friend, a friendly figure to people. That's really a friend and someone they can come to and not feel like they have to be pressured or just intimidated by just everything that goes into starting an acting career.
Well, I'm going to encourage everybody, if you are interested in getting into acting, you want to grow more, please contact Victoria Faith Miller. Listen, I'm telling you, Approachable Actor, you are doing these 30-minute online career collaboration sessions. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's empowering. It's empowering. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. And I love that because you want to share what you've learned. Like, so I want to go back just a little bit. Tell me about how you learned to deal with what they call, if you don't get a part, and you're rejected, right? So how do you do with rejection, or they don't get the part? How did you learn how to deal with that? Because a lot of people don't always deal with it well, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you think it's personal, as opposed
Hmm.
to, no, you just didn't fit the role. But there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with you as a person, but sometimes as young people growing up into that world, sometimes it can be really hard. So how did you learn how to deal with that?
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of hinted at it, but the first thing that you have to remember, which is obviously easier said than accepted, but it takes a bit of time to really take this to heart. But everything happens for a reason, and what's for you will come to you. It's really so true. Like, not every role is meant for you, and that's just the way it is. Like, if you got every audition that you auditioned for, then it just, like, honestly, that couldn't happen, but there really would be no point, because you have to go through, and you have to learn from auditions, and you have to learn from those experiences to then be able to find the bigger and better thing that's coming. So for me, I've just kind of learned to audition and then try and forget about it as much as possible. Like, just do my best, prepare, just put in the time and work and the effort, and then just kind of leave it up. Well, for me, leave it up to God, and leave it up to what's meant for me will come to me. And kind of piggybacking off of that, I also try to see every audition as not just an audition for the exact role that you're auditioning for, but an audition to build a relationship. When you're auditioning for a casting director or auditioning for a director, you're not just auditioning for that role. You're auditioning uh, to be in their realm of perspective, and their realm of their base of actors that they can go to, and they know that's professional, and they know that they can trust, and they know that will do good work. So just because you don't get a role one time doesn't mean that that casting director won't call you back in or have a role for you in the future. Yeah, every audition is really an opportunity to build a connection, and not just build a transactional relationship where, like, I do this for you and you do this for me, but really get to connect with someone on a human level, because we're all human, and that's the most important thing.
Victoria, listen, I don't know. We have to give a shout out to your parents or to somebody. I don't, but you are like this amazing. Oh, wow. Your lens is so wide in terms of your perspective, right? I love, because what you just said is like, I'm not auditioning for the moment. I'm auditioning so that everyone in the room can know how good I am. I might not fit this character, right? Or
Mhm.
this or this script, but they're gonna know, right, that I'm good enough to fit some script and fit some character that they may have next week or the next day or the next month. So I love that about you. It's like, it's not about just a moment, but it's about every moment after the moment, right?
Yep.
So I love that. I'm so proud of you and just who you are and who you're still becoming. Listen, everybody, and not only that, that you have your own business, collaborating, consulting, but you have this Artist Alive Instagram platform where you continue to lift up artistry and artists and promote them. Where did that come from, and how did that even come to your thought that that's what I want to do at this point in time?
Yeah, so I started Artists Alive, which is an Instagram live series. I started it in October of 2020, so, like, right in the middle of the pandemic, when everything was still pretty shut down. And something that I kind of noticed throughout the pandemic was that artists were kind of losing steam a bit, because we weren't getting as many opportunities as we were. Like, auditions were slowed down, productions were shut down. Um, so we were having to create our own opportunities and be creative in those ways, and find ways to still do our craft at home and be able to still share in that love and communicate with others. So, kind of putting all of those two things together, putting those puzzle pieces together, I thought, um, what do I love to do? I love to talk to people. I love to um, meet other artists and talk to them about why they love what they love to do, because I love to talk about what I love to do too. So I was like, I'm sure other people do too.
Absolutely.
And so I kind of landed on the name Artist Alive, because when you think of alive, like feeling alive and feeling just fulfilled and in love with what you do, I thought that was a very important sentiment, especially for the times of the pandemic where people weren't feeling as up to themselves and as up to that level that they were maybe before. So I started that, and I just had a few of my friends as the first guests, and I just prepared a series of questions, like kind of like what you do. I did some research on them, and I just asked them about what they love to do, highlighted some of their hobbies outside of acting, because, you know, we all love to do stuff beyond acting. And yeah, it just became just a phenomenal way for me to build lasting connections, really get to share in people's wins and share in their successes. And that really filled me up in a time where I wasn't auditioning as much, and I wasn't doing as much as I had been doing before. It gave me an opportunity to just slow down, really get to celebrate others, remember why I love to do what I love to do. And another aspect of the show that I really pride myself in is how it doesn't just end with the interview. I want to really build a community. So after I interview a guest, they get the opportunity to be a part of a support group that I created with other young female artists like me. They get to be featured on my Instagram whenever they do something exciting, anything special, anything noteworthy, which is almost every other day because they're just all so amazing. But
yes.
it's sometimes hard to keep up with because everyone's just always doing amazing things. And really just have a place where artists can come and feel supported, can feel like just a positive page where everything is about support, everything is about happy things, everything is about wins and exciting news. And yeah, just a place where we can share in our love, even beyond the pandemic, just because that's just so important, and to celebrate each other and really be there for each other.
Are you real? Like Victoria, are you like a real human? You are so, wow. I can't, because you so remind me of the spirit that I have, right? About just wanting to support others and uplift them. I'm loving, oh my goodness. So sorry if I get carried away and all.
Oh, no,
I am starstruck right now talking to you. So don't mind me if I get a little bit off. But so you talked about these girl bosses again, and Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, all of these powerful roles. If Victoria had the choice to write a script and give herself superpowers, what superpowers do you think Victoria would have?
Ooh, that's a hard one. The very first one that came to my mind was the ability to speak all languages, because kind of going back to just like acting and empathy, I just think it would be so amazing to be able to communicate with everyone and be able to not have a language barrier in that way. And I so deeply admire those people who are able to learn so many different languages, and especially like immigrants and people who have learned to adapt to different languages and different settings. And I'm just so in awe of people's ability to make those changes and adapt. And I think it would be so cool to be able to just go up to someone like and be like, yeah, I know your language. Like, maybe I don't look like you, but I can speak your language and I can communicate with you. And that would just be really cool.
Victoria, I don't know anybody in the world that would have said their superpower is the ability to communicate with everyone. Wow. If I had a mic to drop, Victoria, I would drop it, but wow. I mean, that is so powerful. I'm not surprised, coming from you. I'm not surprised, but so powerful. That's amazing. Listen, everybody, not only is she an amazing actress, individual, powerful, but listen, she is a martial arts black belt, Hapkido, and at the age of 10. Now you're what age are you now?
I'm 18.
18. So at the age of 10, you were a black belt in this type of art, martial art. And so I read up a little bit about it, and it's like a form of self-defense, right? That employs locks and grappling and throwing and kicking punches. And so tell me about your experience becoming a black belt. Like, was this a goal of yours? Did it just happen, or did you just take to it? I mean, tell me about that road at age 10. Or from
Yeah,
age 10.
so like
wait. Before you answer that question, so I saw that it takes on average about 3 years to become a black belt in this. How long did it take you?
About I would say about 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you would have said 1, but it's okay.
No, I'm not like a super human or anything. But I mean, like a lot of things in my life, it was inspired by my parents. My mom, actually, before she had my brother Jake, she had started martial arts. But once she got pregnant and then had my brother, I believe it was having my brother, she had to stop and, had to focus on raising her kid. And when we were about at that age, like 8, 9, 10-ish, she decided that she wanted to kind of continue her journey and pick up where she left off and get her black belt. So she put me and my siblings in karate, and we ended up all really loving it and going obviously till our black belt. So my mom's a black belt. My siblings and I are all black belts, and my dad, I think, made it to 2 belts before black belt. He wasn't able to finish before we moved because he started a little after us. But yeah, so we've gone from that to Survivalists, and it's been a fun ride.
Wow, I love it. Listen, only between me and you, Victoria, have you ever had to use your martial arts in real life? Just between me and you.
No, actually, you just say that you're a black belt, and it just stops there.
I love it. You know what? I have to try that one day. I'm a black belt.
Yeah.
I hope it works. Now listen, I hope the person will say, well, I am too. So,
oh yeah. then you say, let's spar it out. That's what you say.
Yeah, I'm like, you do that, I'm gonna go pray.
Yeah.
So, exactly. Wow, amazing. And listen, you talked about your love of your family and the outdoors and just, all that you've done. Listen, everybody, this is the family that was on the Survivalists on BYUtv. I saw the broadcast. Amazing. I gotta ask you, like, what was that experience like for you and for your family? I mean, being out there in the rugged, it was like you were out there like in the desert almost. But
yeah.
What was that like for you and your family?
Oh my goodness, it was so incredible. I'm probably the craziest one in my family. I'm probably the only one that would say that I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Just because it was so challenging and it was so difficult. But I think what makes that show so amazing, what makes our experience so amazing, is that it all relates back to acting, but it's like in acting when you have to be vulnerable and you have to really just kind of relinquish your own pride and your own ego and your own whatever else is going on in your life, and you're in nature, you're in this like very natural terrain that's just it's unforgiving, it has a mission of its own, it's just so rugged and so just natural, and being placed in that after growing up in the 21st century and being so used to having phones and computers and all that stuff that kids these days, taking like 3 days just away from that and being put in this terrain and this setting, it
Victoria,
makes you,
yeah.
it makes you so just like vulnerable and just emotionally open. And that's what I think allowed our family to really come together and support each other in a way that we never have before. It's just an experience of a lifetime. It's something that like most people will never get to do, but it was just so amazing for us, especially doing it the year before we all went off to college, and now my parents are empty nesters. Being able to have that last moment, that last trip, to be able to be together, it was amazing. And we all love hiking. We've always been like quote unquote an outdoors family. I love fishing with my dad. I just love being in nature. I do miss it a bit in the city, but yeah, it just, and obviously going back to faith, for me specifically, nature is a place where I feel most connected to God, just seeing all of the beautiful creation and seeing how magnificent and untouched it is, especially out west like it is with the mountains and everything. It's just so beautiful. And I feel powerful, but I also feel like such a small puzzle piece in a greater purpose and such a big, awe-inspiring world. It's amazing. I'm at a loss for words. It's amazing.
Wow. And listen, Victoria, I loved your flag, a cross, which was the bigger than, and then your rabbit, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. So tell me about your faith and which I love your name, of course. But tell me how that has been, or if it's been, I believe it has been, but I want to hear has been the foundation of who you are and where you are and where you're going. How have you been able to, let me ask it this way, how have you been able to maintain that as a foundation, if that's what is which I do believe, throughout all this journey, through all that you're doing? How have you been able to maintain that as your foundation?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely been a struggle at times, because when you acting and it's a very laborious thing. Like, it's something that you have to put so much time and so much energy into, not just learning how to act, but all of the business stuff, all of the marketing stuff, all of the stuff that goes into it, building that foundation and getting yourself out there. It takes a lot of time and energy. And I think the one word in terms of faith that I'd have to put it all into would be the word trust. There's nothing more to say than that, really. Like, it's just learning how to trust, like I said earlier, that everything comes to you when it's supposed to, trusting that God's plan for you is the most amazing plan that he could have for you. It's what you're meant to do. And just being able to open yourself up and be like, God, if this is what you have in mind for me, is this what you want for me? Then I'll take it. If not, then I'll accept that, and I'll overcome, and I'll get past that, and I'll face what I need to face to get to bigger and better things. And obviously it's easier said than done. I've struggled with this, like everyone of faith, I'm sure knows, I'm sure you know, we have periods where we question and we doubt. And but for me, it has been the trust and the just the deep, even in the moments where I've considered being like, is this really like a stable career path? Am I really going to be able to do this? Like, do I just have to trust that something like it's just going to poof and everything's going to happen? And what I've learned is no, like, I don't have to expect that. But I know every time I face that doubt, I'm reminded the next day or the next week or the next second or the next moment of why I love what I love to do, what I love to do. And I can't deny it anymore. It's just become a part of me that I just love so much. So why would I ever settle for a 9-to-5 job? Why would I ever settle for something that, yes, maybe seems more practical or more stable? Why would I settle for something that I'm not meant to do? Because I feel like God has given me a purpose, and that's what I'm trying to live out.
Why would I settle for something that I'm not meant to do? Wow, Victoria. Wow. Beautiful. I mean, it's so powerful. I am loving everything about who you become and who you're still becoming, it is so powerful. All I got to say to you is there is no limit to where God's going to take you, your destiny, your purpose. I'm always an avid, the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 8 talks about like there's a door, right, that God has for you that he's open for you that no one can shut, right? So the door that's meant for you, wow. And there are so many doors, Victoria, that are there for you to walk through. I'm so excited for what's to come next for you. I really am. I am so excited about what is coming next for you, and to see you on your Instagram page or on this or on the television, on the app or wherever in the world, right? I'm looking forward to seeing you on the red carpet, to seeing you get those awards. But you know what? More so making an impact, right? Loving what you love. And even if they don't call your name, still knowing that your name has been called. Victoria, yep. I'm telling you, you're so amazing to me. And I see something so much in you that I just above and beyond. So everybody, not even with that, we're not done yet. Even a model. I mean, you've had full page spreads. I mean, you've done so much, been featured. Do you see yourself growing further, or do you want to go further in the modeling world?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for me, acting comes first for me personally, but I know a lot of actors also kind of do modeling on the side. And for me, it has also been a great way to build confidence and to really get comfortable in front of the camera, because that's a huge thing in TV and film, getting comfortable in front of the camera. And I think, obviously, because you're a photographer, but being in front of the camera involves acting. Like I did a shoot last year with a photographer local to where I'm from, Baltimore. And we did a Victorian style shoot. So she had us hold lanterns, my sister and I hold lanterns and set up these little scenes where we were like looking through the woods, and even like photos and modeling, that's all it's all acting too. It's all connected. I know I've said that like 5 times before, but it truly is.
I love it.
And yeah, so for me, acting definitely comes first, but modeling, it's a lot of fun. That's just something that I've loved to do for fun. I've been able to be a part of a campaign called Smile with a Statement, which was done by an influencer. Her name's Sydney Lint, and she's very incredible and does a lot for like female empowerment. And her campaign, Smile with a Statement, she did when she was competing in the pageant for Miss Maryland. And it's a campaign that inspires girls to be confident in who they are as genuine individuals and not trying to change for anyone. And we were able to do a photo shoot that just kind of was a very personality style thing. We did little interviews, and yeah, I never want modeling to be a thing for me, as I know it has for many others, that becomes a stressful thing where you're worried too much about like your appearance or whether you're good enough or whether you're the right look for anything. I just kind of like, here I am the way I am. And I love to support campaigns and magazines and causes that have good messages and good purposes. So yeah.
Well, all I can say is I can't wait to see you on the next billboard. I'm going to see your name on the marquee. Listen, I'm telling you, all I ask is that when you go on the red carpet, if they give you the permission to have a press pass, I would love to be honored there to take your photo, because you are that amazing, Victoria, and I'm so proud of you. I'm in awe of you. Absolutely. Listen, I got to ask you, and we're almost done. You're so good at so many things. I mean, everyone, I again, singer, standard British accent, dance, Irish tap, musical, theater, ukulele, improvisation. I'm going to say them all. Martial arts, yoga, swimming, bowling, lacrosse, soccer, badminton, tennis, roller skating, ice skating, kayaking, canoeing. I'm not finished. Fishing, archery, hiking, stage combat, basic hand-to-hand and sword and snare drum. So I got to ask you, Victoria, because I'm always a believer, right? Like it's harder to climb a smooth mountain. I tell people that, listen, give me the rough mountain, right? Give me the experience that's going to teach me how to build, how to grow, and how to sustain, so that when the winds come and the waves come, right, I'm prepared, right? I don't want everything to go yes, 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 and I've never experienced a no. So I want to understand how everything works. So the experience is what gives me something to hold on to in those moments, right? Where I do hear the no, or they don't call me back. But the experience told me, you know what? They may call me next week, or next month, or next year. You never know when somebody's going to remember who you were. And I'm telling you right now, so I got to ask you, what has been the most challenging experience to date? Like, what area of your life do you feel that you've had to work the most at to be good at?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think for me, just because I'm a very much a person who I consider myself like a lifelong learner. I just love to do so many things. Like I don't settle for sticking to one thing. I just love to do so much and try so much. Really balance has been a thing for me. Like balance between between my core values and my own self as a person, finding balance between health and happiness and family and staying connected to those things, and also pursuing professional stuff like acting and all of that, along with stuff that I want to do in the future, like directing, producing, etc. Really just, I mean, balance really is the word. Like I know a lot of adults struggle with finding that personal and professional life balance, because we kind of see different areas of our life and the different people we interact with as very separate. Like I'm like this for these people. I'm this way for these people. I act this way when I'm doing this. Like we tend to polarize different areas of our life. And I feel like sometimes I've almost fallen into that with all the different stuff I like to do. But I mean, like I've said like 5 times, like as long as you find ways to balance those things and find ways that you can connect all of those areas of your life. And for me, the way that I connect everything is by saying that I do everything for the glory of God. I do everything that I do. I bring it up to God as a in gratitude of everything that he's given me, of all the blessings that he's given me in life. And the only thing I can do is share that with others who might not have had the opportunity to recognize that. And I want to be able to help them become closer to God and help them become closer to the support systems and the people that will support their dreams, because not everyone has as supportive parents as I do. And I recognize that, and I'm so grateful for that. I feel so blessed, but I also know that, like I said, not everyone has that. So just being able to share with other people that it's okay to want to do everything. You don't have to just choose one thing in life. Not everyone has one purpose. We have so many different purposes and so many different passions, and like, even you don't even have to be amazing at everything you do. You can just do something for fun. Like I'm no Serena Williams at tennis, but I did it for a few years when I was little, and it was something that I loved to do. I played lacrosse for a few years. I don't do it anymore, but it was still a skill, and I learned a lot from that team building and from working with a team to for a common goal. Like you learn the skills in those different departments of your life, and they all lead to what makes you an individual and what makes you a whole and unique and amazing person.
Well, all I can say is you are amazing. You are an amazing person, Victoria Faith Miller. Yes, you are. And it's such an honor. So just 2 more questions for you. Is there anything else on your vision board? You talked about directing, producing. Is there anything more that you can share more on your vision board that you that you have not done yet, or that you aspire to have or do?
Yes. Well, I definitely would love do something for the cause of girls' education. That's just something that I've been so passionate about, and just in terms of like women's empowerment in general and how we are talking about that in terms of film. But I was someone who had the privilege of going to an all-girls Catholic private school for 7 years of my life. And it was such an amazing experience. The amount I was able to grow and form connections with through my faith, with friends, and through my academics and learning was just incredible. And I was so blessed to have that experience. And again, a lot of the things I speak from is from a place of privilege, and not everyone else has that. So a lot of the stuff that I just do in life is almost in an effort to bring other people into those experiences who might not have those from the get-go. And building upon the girls' education thing, I'd really love to start either like a social entrepreneurship venture or some sort of organization one day that really champions the right for every girl to receive an education, because I'm actually writing a paper on it now in my English class, but education prevents and helps lessen poverty. It helps provide girls with the opportunity to have control over their futures, not get married when they're teens, and really have that control over themselves as individuals and their passions and their goals. And even though that's something that happens in developing countries, it's also something that happens in Philadelphia, like a few miles away from where I am right now. And recognizing that and how blessed I have been throughout my life, I want to be able to use that to help others, and especially other girls. I'd love to do a mission trip one day to learn more about that in a firsthand context, just to really be able to humble myself and really experience firsthand what they go through in other countries, and just see a different world. It's almost like a whole nother planet in some countries and in some parts of the US. So I definitely love to travel a lot in the future and just see the world. And like I said, with the whole languages thing, just to be able to broaden my horizons as a person and then be able to use that in my performances.
Amazing you are. Phenomenal, super, astronomical, outstanding. Whatever I could, but you are that and so much more, Victoria. I am so in awe of you. One final formal question is, if you met someone who isn't able to see their dreams, right? Don't know if they could achieve them, as you have in so many areas and still growing and evolving. What would you say to them to encourage them to hold on to their dreams?
Yeah. Well, first I would just give them a hug, because I feel like everyone just needs a hug, and I'm a very huggable, or love to give hugs. So I just give them a big hug and tell them that that their passions and their dreams, they feel that desire and those goals and that for a reason. It's not just oh, this is something that I want to do. It's not just a fleeting thing. When you're called to do something, it's serious. It's like having a vocation. It's having a purpose. And I would let them know that it's never that they can't do it. It's that their mind and the world is trying to tell them that they can't do it. But it's never that they can't physically do it, because I am of the mindset, of the belief that you can do anything you put your mind to, as long as you put hard work, you put time and effort. You can do anything. There's nothing that's out of reach. Like, yes. If you told me 5 years ago, even like 2 or 3 years ago, that I'd be where I am today, I probably wouldn't believe you. But it's all about taking small steps. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. I know there's a big myth that goes around the entertainment industry that of having a big break. For most people, it's not like that. They work years and years And I just tell that person that it's all about, what are you going to do today that's going to help you in the future? It can be something so small as just recognizing and becoming self-aware of that passion and telling yourself that I can do it. It can be something so simple as a mindset shift, as choosing to have a more positive outlook on life. It can be the smallest step, and then it can go into building a support system and finding people around you, and really going through the relationships in your life and saying, is this good for me? Are they really supporting me? Are they helping me fulfill this goal? It's all about taking inventory. And I basically just tell that person to start small and continue to go from there. It doesn't happen, like I said, in a day. It doesn't happen in a heartbeat. It takes years and years. And I'd be very honest about that, because I try not to sugarcoat. As positive and as uplifting as I am, I also want to be very honest and real with people. And I just let them know that I'm there for them, that if all else fails, they have a fan in me.
Wow. Victoria Faith Miller, thank you so much. Is there more you want to share with us about your journey thus far? We talked about a number of things, but is there anything else more you want to share with us? Oh my goodness. Listen,
I think you did incredible. You covered all the bases. I don't even know.
I think we need to do a part 2 at some point in time, because I love listening to you. I mean, it's literally a masterclass. And this is the first time I've ever said that. Out of the maybe 2-3 years I've been doing this, first with Hamilton Radio, and now during the pandemic I'm doing it in my home place, but a masterclass. I mean, every response is so thoughtful, and it's so you, right? I mean, how many people first thing they say, you know what, I would give them a hug. Listen, that is so Victoria Faith Miller.
It's like, I swear, like, whenever I answer a question, the first thing that came to my mind was, like, as you were asking the question, I was just like, I'd give them a hug. And it's like, now I don't even like stop to question it or think it through in my head. I'm just like, just say it. That's just the first thing that my heart told me to say.
It's so you. And that is what I love so much and inspired so much about you and from you. So listen, I got to ask you, is there anyone that you want to acknowledge that has been a support to you on your journey thus far? I always give that option for those who come on our broadcast. You say, well, I don't want to forget anybody, but if you want to,
yeah.
but is there anyone that you want to recognize that has been a part of your journey, that has impacted your life thus far?
Yeah. I mean, of course, aside from my parents, my immediate family, but I really think it would have to be my grandfather, my grandpa. I'm going to say his name so he gets a shout out, but Charles Webster, my grandpa. And he has been such a big support for me. He drove me to set for my very first short film. He drove me to and from set. My very last film that I did, that I had to go home for the weekend, he picked me up from the train station. He's just always been there, because my parents, like, as you can imagine, are super busy, having triplets and 4 kids that are all in a very similar stage in life. But even in the busiest times, my grandpa has always been there for me. He's always been my biggest fan, and my Nana too. My Nana and Grandpa, they've just been my biggest fans, my biggest supporters. They've just shown me so much unconditional love. And yeah, I just have to say them.
Amazing. So listen, before I give you the last words in terms of the social media contacts and where people can find you, I want you to know, any way that I can be a support to you, your purpose, your mission, your calling, don't you hesitate to reach out to me. I'm serious. Listen, I'm here in New Jersey, so I'm not too far from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So even if if you need stuff, I'll drive it to, listen, whatever I can do. And I mean that. Everybody who knows me, I mean what I say. And you are just separate from the acting, separate from the modeling, separate from all the skills that you're blessed to have and everything. You are an amazing individual. And all I see is this star that just is going to rise to places beyond what anybody could ever imagine. And so I literally mean that. Well, first of all, I would love to do a photo shoot with you. So at any point in time, you're free to do that. Listen, I got you. So would love to, that would be an honor for me. And of course, I love on location. So we have to find something on location.
Yes.
But whatever I can do to support you, and I mean that in any way, don't hesitate to message me, to reach out to me, and I'm there. I'm such a fan of you. I'm such a fan of you, and I'm so proud of you and all that you're doing. So the last thing I'll share to you is, where can people find you? Where can people connect with you if they want to?
Yeah, so the best place would probably be my website, which is just www.victoriafaithmiller.com. And that, if you scroll down, well, of course, on the website, there's all of my information that you could possibly know about me. My bio, my resume, my reels and videos, my contacts for my agent. And if you scroll down, there should be a little bar that has a link to my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, my Actors Access. And if you just want to stay in touch with what I'm up to, Instagram would be the best place. I'm definitely the most active on Instagram. So my website for information and my Instagram for life updates.
Everybody listen, Victoria Faith Miller, I have really no more to say. She's that amazing, yes, and more. So thank you, Victoria, so much for being a phenomenal guest. I so appreciate you. Any last words you want to say before we go?
No, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. Like, what you've said to me means the world, and I just hope that everyone who's watching gets a virtual hug, and just knows that if you have a dream, and especially if you want to do acting or anything, you can do it. Like, you can. Like, I am no different than anyone else in terms of what's possible. It's, yeah, like, and feel free, anyone who's into acting, anything in terms of being an artist, reach out to me. I'm always open to anyone. Yeah, so please reach out. I'm sure Troy would love you to reach out to him as well. Reach out to us. We will be like your friends, and
yes.
And yeah, that's it.
Everybody, Victoria Faith Miller, know the name. If you don't know it, trust me, you will. The world will know this amazing young lady in one way or another. Thank you, Victoria. We're honored to have you so much. I so appreciate it. Everybody, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. Every week, we come on here to encourage you to follow your dream and never stop dreaming. My motto is dream, take that step, and walk with purpose into your destiny. I'll see you this coming Monday with another phenomenal guest, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook Live. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and go get your dream. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.